This episode is brought to you by Precision Fuel and Hydration, a proud supporter of the Inside Running podcast. It keeps us fueled on our long runs and races. Are you training for your next big race and still guessing your nutrition? Inside Running podcast listeners, 2026, this is the year you stop winging it. Precision Fuel and Hydration is the answer. Their free online planner helps you nail your sodium and carb intake so you don't fade when it matters most. Visit precisionhydration.com, and while you're there, place your first order and get 15% off when you use the code IRP2026. Welcome to episode number 444 of the Inside Running podcast. A massive thank you for being with us for another week. I'm going to tell you off the bat, this show may not go for that long because there's two news items. Croaks didn't even give me one either. I've got one for Moose, one for Croaks. Not sure how long it's going to go, but we'll have some fun, no doubt. Welcome to my co-host. He's up in Canberra. His marathon PB is 2:17. We're building. Next week he races. He's going to have another swing at the Australian over 45 10K record, and it's going to be a real good indicator to see how he's going with this new lactate meter and this new training philosophy. Welcome to you, Bradley Croker.
Thanks, Brady. Good to be here. Definitely a much quieter week in the running world, coming down off last week's massive results. So, yeah. And then I guess next week, I think Diamond Leagues start weekend after this one.
Shanghai Diamond League, the first one?
Yeah, I think so. So, you know how up and about I get about Diamond Leagues? Looking forward to that starting.
Yeah. That's actually not the Saturday night before the Sydney 10, is it? We don't want that impacting your sleep.
Ooh, good question. It might be, it's around then. Actually, I think it's the Friday. I think it's on I think it's a couple of days before.
Croaks, you don't stay up for them anyway. You just watch the replay.
No, I just watch them on YouTube. The next day.
Croaks ain't giving up his 10 hours, mate.
No, 16th of May, so it is the Saturday. It is the day before.
Oh, okay. You better watch that. Get hyped before you race.
Yeah, we'll see.
Our other co-host, he represented Australia at the 2019 World Championships. He was representing us in the marathon, the only Australian male we sent. He's got a PB of 2:14 over the marathon. Julian Spence, welcome to you this week.
Thanks. I'm here. Not that well, but I'm here. I'm really just clocking in tonight just for you blokes.
Yeah, it's good to have you back. It's good to be back, the three of us. I did enjoy listening to Cam, obviously, a couple of weeks ago, and it was good patching you in last week, Moose, but just that familiar feeling of my two consistent co-hosts.
Congratulations. I didn't get a chance to tell you face-to-face about your Boston Marathon.
Thank you. I feel like there's a bit of lip coming at the end of this, though, Croaks.
No,
you're telling me that he was soft. He should have went out harder.
Well, let me go. Give us a second.
I had a 4-minute positive split, so I'm glad I didn't go out hard enough.
Yeah, no, Croaks and I definitely enjoyed winding you up the day before in the private chats, just about how you really needed to get after it because of the amazing day. And boy, wasn't it an amazing day? Geez, there's something about Boston with a tailwind. I remember, was it 2016, 2015 maybe, when they got that tailwind? Oh,
no, even longer. Like you're talking about the Ryan Hall year.
Yeah, no, it was 2015 or 16.
No, it was way before that.
Yeah, it was earlier than that.
Are you sure?
2009 or something. Yeah, it was before the bombings. 2006. They reckon
it
only
happens.
happens.
My bad.
They reckon it only happens every 20 years or something, and I got one, boys.
Yeah, 2011, I reckon. Or
you get all the good weather, Brady, on your overseas marathons. Like Valencia, you had good weather. Chicago, pretty good weather.
Chicago was rough.
Well, you don't get any. Well, I wouldn't say you've had any rough weather days.
Osaka, mate. People pouring out left, right, and centre that day. Osaka was rough.
Osaka was just a little bit cold.
Which other ones have I done?
You've done
Berlin a few times.
Nobioku.
Nobioka, that was real windy Nobioka. Biwa, that was Biwa the day when Moose and Nick Earl ran 2:14 Croaks. Like, they left some time on the road that day, given the conditions.
Chuck that in Medio pace, would you? Wouldn't mind seeing that. Phil, if you're listening, chuck that one in. Spit out something generous.
Can we do it, Phil? I'd love it. Phil will be listening. He's a big supporter of the podcast. Like, can we get a Strava file and just see what these races were worth?
We'll put mine in while you're there. Mine was a hot year.
Oh, yeah. Yours, Croaks.
It was warm.
We had like torrential rain, Brady. Remember, we were warming up just in full kit out there, just drenched.
Headwind on the way back. Yeah, you guys were about the only two people that ran well that day.
Arm warmers on until 25k, and then gloves off at 30. And I can't remember who I was talking to, but the feeling of taking gloves off, it's like you get a second wind. All of a sudden, 2 more gears appear above your threshold where it's like, oh, the race begins again now. It's like I have another start line once the gloves come off. It's a real psychological thing.
It's still the most. I think the one thing I hate about the marathon is the weather factor. In that you put in so much time and effort for that 12 weeks or whatever it is for that one day, and if you get shit weather, it is going to impact your result. But you can't you can't just rock up next weekend and have another crack like you can for a 5K on the track or a 10K. It's the cruel part of that event, I think. But it's also what makes it so special, because it's very rare that you get perfect weather every time you step on the start line of a marathon.
Yeah, and where you get good marathons is where the weather's predictable and consistent and mild. And yes, you might have a bad year once in a while, but you can bank on it. It's like probability is much higher. So that's why Valencia is so good, and Berlin's generally pretty good. London can get warm, but you got Tokyo that's generally pretty good. And then you've got Ballarat. Now, you had Brady went around calling it Valencia of the South. It ain't the Valencia of the South. And I put up a bit of resistance to that back at the time. And I think a few people have realised now, Ballarat might not be the ideal marathoning city, just based off the wind, always windy, the weather, generally wet. It can be pretty cold, can be pretty warm that time of year. And then the altitude up at 450 to 500 meters, and just the amount of people in there that can line the course with a crowd. Like, you hear Boston Marathon stories. You and Izzy were real good in your recaps. And then London, hearing people, Alfie and that on their London recap. There's something about a crowd that makes marathoning pretty special. And when you get, like, the regional ones are a little more difficult to do, because you go through some real lonely spots.
What does it do for that event? We sort of spoke about it last week, Moose, when you weren't here. And I've sort of said it the last couple of years. Like, obviously the first 2 years, like, the weather was probably not standard Ballarat weather. They got really, really good weather. And so everyone's talking about, it being a super fast course, and it's a place to go now in Australia to run fast times. But I feel like this year, and you get maybe 2 or 3 more years of that sort of weather, and I feel like that, like, you're always going to get a few top guys there because there's prize money, but I feel like that next tier are just going to really drop off, because they're like, well, why am I going to go there and battle winds for the second lap and run 2, 3, 4 minutes slower than what I could somewhere else by going over to Japan or whatever? So, like, that's my concern for that part of the event.
Yeah, but how many participants were there? Like 7,000 in the marathon? Or was it 7,000 overall?
That was my argument last week. We're in a running boom, and it's not going to affect the event.
Yeah. And
it won't affect their numbers, but in terms of there's not that many places in Australia, if you're a sub 2:30 marathoner, that you can go and potentially have people to run with. And Ballarat was starting to maybe be one of those races where that could actually fall away.
But Ballarat owns the calendar, though, because you're coming out of this time of year, and unless you go overseas, there's not a lot of marathons around. And like, Canberra is not going to be a better place. I mean, Canberra or Adelaide aren't going to be better places to run than Ballarat is. So it still owns the front half of the year marathon spot in Australia.
People getting caught up, like, with I heard the Road to Somewhere guys talking about, like, Nick's like, they need to move it later so it doesn't get as hot. Like, that was the last week and a half in Australia, like in Victoria in particular. We have had like random outlier kind of weather. So I just looked up the last 30 years in Ballarat on that April 26th, which is pretty much the date they have it on every year. The average high is 16.9 degrees and the average low 6.3 degrees. Now, these guys on the weekend got like 14 degrees at start time, and it was like 18 degrees for their second lap. So I think, yes, it's always going to be a chance of windy, but they got really unlucky last week where it could have been, like, I've been cool, like, should I wear gloves, should I wear arm warmers the last 2 years because it's been 8 degrees on the start line. That heat that they got, and Nick explained it once the full sun came out, you might get that one every 10 years at Ballarat. So take that away for the next 10 years. Yeah, you might still have some wind, but it's going to be much more easier to run quick there.
Yeah. It's been outlier. The temperatures have been outlier this month. Like, it's a record month of heat. Yeah. So you're right about that.
Back to Ryan Hall, 2011, you ran the 2:04.58 at Boston.
Yeah, there was a bit of excitement about that.
2:04. What about that random American guy no one ever heard of running 2:05 last week too? Did you see that? Finishing on the grass school oval?
Yeah, it was like in sort of not a nothing event, but it was certainly not a marathon I've ever heard of.
Didn't he win by 15 minutes? We're getting excited about Ryan Hall running it 15 years ago, and now there's just random Americans running them, finishing on the grass ovals, 2:05s.
Yeah, but it's the top end's getting further up. But what I've noticed, the next tier down are not pushing forward. Like, where are our males that are running 2:10 to 2:15? Like, how many of those have we seen in the last 12 months? Just not that many.
Well, even people going like from 2:15 to 2:20, like, there hasn't been a massive increase in numbers like in that range either over the last, well, like put it this way. So Blake Bewell, when I ran 2:17, that's what's that? That's getting up to like 6 years ago now. And like, I wouldn't have actually dropped down that many ranking spots in the last 7 years.
No, you're right. And same with ladies. Like, there was that opening where everyone just started to push forward. And at the top end, the low 220s was the spot. Like Izzy, Sinead, Eloise, Jen. It was hot up there. Jess Stenson, obviously. But then the next wave pushing through, we don't get a lot that are peppering 225 to 230. Like, there's a couple, but there's just not the numbers that I would have thought by now.
Yeah, I just looked it up. So like 2025 to like where we are in 2026. So you got Jess 221, Izzy 223, Leanne 224 at Sydney, Jen 225, Lisa then 229, and Sinead's 229.
Yeah. Where's the new wave? Where's our new batch?
Well, then you got Caitlin Adams, Ali, Rebecca Lowe, all in the 230s, and then Tara Palm, Abigail Norberg, Kate Mason's like 233-ish, 231-ish.
What we're not seeing is we're not seeing the track runner come across to the marathon as early as what the Kenyans are. I think that's probably it. Like, our best runners are coming up through the track system, staying on the track, and they're not like skipping the whole 5K, 10K push around the world trying to get qualifiers. They're locked into that. They're doing the Europe seasons, but they're not doing those big marathon builds one after the other. We're seeing a different route for the Aussies.
This isn't also great statistics here. 2025 and what's happened in 2026 so far. How many men do you think we've got under 210? So we're talking about 16 months?
3.
4?
3. Pat Tiernan at Boston, Andy, and then Tim Vincent. This doesn't include Boston though, because Pat Tiernan's done it twice. He ran 2:09, didn't he, a couple of weeks ago, last week?
Yeah, just.
Yeah.
Do you remember where you were ranked all time when you ran your 2:14?
Do I remember? Croaks.
What were you, 40 something?
I think I was 49th.
Or because you're 51st now.
You mean
maybe
all time?
All time, yeah. So I reckon there would have
been higher then.
Yeah. Because like I reckon I've only gone down probably 10 spots.
Well, what are you at?
92.
Top 100. Where's Brady at? Does it go that low?
I'm ranked 15th for the year. No, I wouldn't go down to me.
No, it does.
Does it?
It goes down. What's your PB? 219.
219.36 or 8 or something like that.
Top 200?
132.
Ooh. Pretty good, Brady. Pretty good for you.
They got 10K times there? 10K road crooks?
No, it's just a marathon.
They don't do that. No one cares about that, mate.
We're reminiscing here, sounding like three old guys just sucking back stories from back in the day.
No, but there was a question on Road to Somewhere, and it was a good question. Like the rest of the world's moved on, and we see the Brits, the Americans, the Japanese even charging through, running countless people under 210, but for men and for ladies under, what would you say the equivalent is, like 225?
Yeah, we got the stars, but not the depth.
About that, yeah. But what's going on with the Australians? And I think our best runners, they're sticking with the track. They're romantic with the track. They're not seeing the marathon as their future, and it's still almost looked upon as the retirement plan rather than the career.
Yeah, like Morgan McDonald. He's still chasing that sub 13 minutes, and whereas he'd run a good marathon.
I mean, even Seth. Look at Seth.
Yeah.
I liked Nick. I think Nick and Ali kind of highlighted it together, though, when they said, like, the population. And then, so you think about how many people in Australia, just look at Croaks' training. How many runners in Australia are training and putting as many hours and like professionalism in as Croaks?
Nah, no one.
I know. And then you think about
not even the OAC are doing that.
No. Like, I'm not taking the piss here, but let's just go. How many Australians are running 160K a week consistently? Not many.
Yeah.
Even our pro guys probably aren't.
Would there be 20?
Nah, there'd be more than that. It'd be
I don't know if there would be.
I reckon.
Because I don't know if Brett Robinson is. I don't know if Jack Rayner is. Andy Buchanan's just building back up to that.
What about, you mentioned this population thing. What I was thinking when that point was brought up was, how about that time when we had the Australian women all in that pack at Valencia? Like, we were at the top of the sport in women's marathoning. Not the very top where we're winning medals, but we had probably the best 5th to 15th at a race in the world at that time. This was like 2020 era. So that we punch above our weight at certain times. Also back when Mona and Deegan and was it Ondieki? We're competing well at the major championships. And
Derek Clayton, he was a world record holder, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yep, he was.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I think the professionalism has a lot. Like, how many professional groups do we have focusing on the marathon?
Yeah, well, that's another good point. The professional groups are structured for track. I mean, or you're a professional group that covers everything from 800s to the marathon.
And then the marathon is just doing solo stuff around Albert Park on a Sunday or Friday or whatever. Bit of a lone wolf. It's a good question. And I just don't know if we've got people doing that hard of training. Like, how many extremes do we see when it's like, all right, we got this mad snake marathoner who's running 220K weeks.
Back in the day,
we got 45-year-olds doing 100-mile weeks in their shed on their treadmill. That's about as inspirational as we get.
And to be honest, it is much easier to do 100-mile weeks now than it was 15 years ago. Like, I'm finding 150K weeks like fairly manageable from a body point of view. And that's because every day I go out for a run, I'm in a pair of shoes that I'm like, this feels just easy compared to putting on just a old school pair of Pegasus that existed like 15 years ago. Like, if I was doing that now, like, it would be completely different. And so that's why, like, people should actually be looking at, you can, I think, train more now than what you could have for the same amount of like muscle breakdown and body breakdown.
Not a lot of people 15 years ago were running like you were though, Crooks. Like 15 years ago, a 25-year-old's now 40. There's factors at play that limit their running.
Let's get this show on the roll though, Croaks. Do you want to take us through your training week?
Yep.
Sorry to interrupt, but I'm super excited to tell you about our partner on this week's episode, which is Saily. I used Saily when I went over to Boston a couple of weeks ago. This is my eSIM of choice. Super easy. Download the app, put in the code that Inside Running Podcast gets a discount for, and you are away. It is a game changer for staying connected when you travel. It's an eSIM service app that lets you choose from a high range of affordable data plans from over 190 countries and 8 regions. Think about it, you land in a new city and boom, you've got Wi-Fi data straight away. No more scrambling. If you're heading overseas for your next marathon or even a holiday, running is a fantastic way to experience the world. But here's a question. How often has travel planning been a hassle for you? Especially staying connected once you land. I know I've been there, desperately searching for Wi-Fi at airports, getting stung by crazy roaming charges, or wasting time hunting down a local SIM card. This is where you enter the world of eSIM, and Saily has you covered. You download the app once and you're set. No more swapping SIMs for every country. Plus the plans are super affordable, which is crucial when you're saving up for those race entry fees and flights. And for those of you planning a multi-country trip like a European marathon tour, Saily offers global and regional plans too. Imagine this, you're in a new city, you're using Saily to load your Strava heat maps, you need to find the best post-run coffee, and more importantly, you need to stay connected to upload your latest run. Saily also helps you avoid scams and even has security features to protect your privacy when you're browsing. It's compatible with both iOS and Android, and with their support team, they are there for you 24 hours, 7 days a week if you need them. So here's the deal for Inside Running Podcast listeners, because we've teamed up with Saily to offer you an exclusive 15% off discount on the Saily data plans. Use the code Inside Running, and that's all capitals, at checkout to get the discount. To get started, download the Saily app or visit saily.com or check out the link in our bio. So when you're traveling next, ditch the roaming headaches and give Saily a try. You won't regret it.
So Monday, I kicked off with 14K in the morning at 4:23s, and then 8K in the afternoon at 4:25. So definitely been paying more attention to like heart rate on these runs. Like I'm trying to sort of get through them with a relatively low heart rate, and for these morning runs now, it's always like low to mid 120 average, and I keep it fairly flat after the Sunday run. So then Tuesday morning got out for another 8K at 4:22s, and then went to the track and did a session of 2 sets of 11 400s. 30 seconds between the reps, and I had a minute recovery between the sets. So normally when I do these 400s, I'll do just 20 of them straight, but I did want to take a lactate sort of halfway through the session. So that's why I did like a couple of extra reps. So in terms of the paces, so for the first set, the slowest was 73.5 and the fastest was 72.3. The lactate here, I'm not sure if it was right or not. Like I was working fairly hard, but it was like I could have easily held that for 20 to 25 reps and probably even kicked down a little bit. And so my lactate was 5, which was definitely on the high side. But I'm not sure whether there was maybe a bit of contamination there. So I did actually back it off. That second set went from like 74.9 down to 73.7. So it's like, it's not a massive difference. Like we're talking less than a second and a half per lap, but the lactate then dropped to like 3.5, which was more like where I sort of wanted to be in the first place. So although I'm probably still doing these sessions on the higher end, and look, when you're on the track, I think it's okay to have one session a week where it is a bit sort of higher intensity. But the good thing about having that lactate monitor there is it's just another reminder of, hey, rather than actually maintain this pace or accelerate because you're still feeling okay, let's actually dial it back to make sure that we're in the right zone. So I think that's the benefit of it for me at the moment. So that was Tuesday. Wednesday, just did the one run, just over 75 minutes, 17.5K. Thursday, another session on the treadmill. So it was 6 by 6 minutes. So I did like 1 rep at 18K an hour, 1 rep at 18.3, and then 4 reps at 18.5. Lactate was 2.1 after 3 and 3.1 after 6.
Got the approval from Chriso as well.
Yeah.
Big fella's ticked it off.
Yeah. So, I guess, I was surprised that the lactate probably drifted probably a bit too much there. Like it should probably have been like 2.1 and maybe 2.5 or whatever, but it was a little bit warmer that day, that sort of warmer weather that we've been having. And look, I don't reckon my treadmill has actually lost a little bit of calibration. So I don't really read into the paces too much. It's more about the heart rate and the effort and that sort of thing. I did gym that day and then got out for a second run, 8K, 424s, just the one run on Friday, an hour at 421s. And then Saturday, Colas had soccer in the morning. So I did the session after he finished his soccer. So it was, I did 3K on the treadmill at 326s. I then had probably somewhere between 2 and 3 minutes recovery. Just got out of the garage, went down to the bottom of my hill, and then just did 8 30-second hills, jogged back in about a minute. Had probably another 2 to 3 minutes recovery after the last hill. And then I jumped on the treadmill again and did a 3K tempo at 320s. I didn't do any lactates for that session. I was going to go for another run that afternoon, but I didn't finish the session until close to midday. I'm like, well, if I do a double run, it's going to be over 160K for the week. And I'm like, I think I'll just stick to the sort of low to mid 150s until sort of after Sydney 10. So I just left it at that, and then did 2 hours yesterday with the boys, 417s for a week of like 153-ish K, I suppose. So just ticking things off, like sessions, like there's no session there that's super hard or super impressive. But like as Cam was saying a couple of weeks ago, when you train this way, it's just a feeling you get. Like you go out for a run and you're like, I'm cruising. I feel like I've got so many more gears. And the difference is back when I felt this way a few years ago, I would just use those gears on a recovery run, and I would start rolling 4-minute Ks. Whereas now it's like, I feel like I want to go, but I'm actually holding myself back and still just trying to keep the heart rate low, which then means that I'm feeling good on sessions, but then the sessions aren't that difficult. So I don't know what shape I'm in, but I'd like to think that my fitness has progressed from the start of the year, and every race that I've done's got like a little bit better, and my fitness has got a bit better every month. So I'll do something a bit harder on Thursday this week.
So good. Such a rounded week.
Well, it's a what do you call it? Norwegian week? Except you're not doing the double threshies. Oh, you did one day of that, didn't you?
No, I haven't done any double thresholds. I just do one session and I'll go out for a second run.
So
when are you going to do the doubles, Croaks?
Not for a while. I think I'd just stick to this for a little bit longer. If I did doubles, I would have to. I think
up earlier.
No. I think the good thing about just doing the singles at the moment is there's a little bit more flexibility with being able to just push at the higher end of that sub threshold. Whereas if you're doing doubles, you need to be so dialed in and so disciplined, particularly for that first session of the day. So I'm happy just to keep doing what I'm doing at the moment.
I get the sense, though, that you were hoping to see these readings a bit lower. Like now you're checking your lactate. And like the way you've been smacking like 400s the last couple of months, like you'd get down to like 67, 68s in that same, say that like 2 by 11.
Not off 30 seconds. No, last time I did it was a week or two before the Canberra 10K, and I think I averaged 71 point.
Yeah.
Whereas I was, but
you're kind of doing the opposite way than how you did it now that you've got the data.
Yeah, I'm going slower. Yeah. And I probably could even go like slower again.
Because after you checked at 11, you were kind of like, oh, I was hoping that was going to be lower. Now I've got to adjust to slow it down.
Well, deep down, I'm like, I knew it was going to be higher than what it should have been because I just went, I'm working a little bit too hard here. Okay. But that's the difference where previously I would like been, well, I'm working hard, but I'm not absolutely killing myself. So I'll either continue to do this or I'll actually increase it so that I am actually working really hard by the end of the session.
Do you ever do a workout to see how high you can get it?
No, I haven't. And what I want to do after Sydney 10 is maybe just do a little bit more testing, because I'm basing everything off my LT1 being 2 millimoles and my LT2 being 4. But like for me, being a bit more aerobic than anaerobic, like my LT1 may actually be like 1.5 and my LT2 might actually be 3.5. So if I'm doing these sessions at 3.5, I'm actually like too high. Whereas at the moment, I'm just factoring everything off, 4 millimole being my LT2.
And what test do you do to get that data?
That's where you do your step test.
Oh, yeah, that step.
So
I did that.
So you basically have what it is at rest, and then you have a look for that first jump, and that's LT1.
Well, there's a formula to use. There's a bunch of different algorithms you can use to generate it. Like 4 or 5, maybe even more. There's like a program you can plug the numbers into, but it comes out pretty different though. There'll be like a range. So one of the theories or algorithms might have your like LT2 at 168 beats, and then another one might be 174 beats based on the algorithm used. So it's actually not as simple as like the exact point. It's still interpretive.
Yeah.
But fuck your weeks, Croaks. If we're going to talking all these numbers in training weeks, Jesus, this could get a rough listen when we're hearing heart rates and lactate numbers and paces and.
I didn't mention one heart rate then, like in terms of.
No, you're right. Sessions. You didn't.
But look, what it does is it holds me to account, I think, and it's making sure that I'm more calculated in what I'm doing on a daily basis to remain consistent.
I get the feeling that you're kicking yourself you didn't come across this type of training about 25 years earlier.
100%, because I was thinking about it today. It was almost like a badge of honor to be running high mileage and finishing weeks feeling like you're actually like pretty cooked, because you're like, well, I'm working hard. The benefits are going to come soon. Whereas I haven't felt that way for like quite a while now. And I definitely feel like I'm fitter now than I was, when I ran 15:10 on the track in February. But I haven't really run super hard other than the races.
It's an ego thing back then. Even if you knew about this, would you be able to do it, especially in a training group environment?
I think the only way that I would have bought into it was if I did it for a little bit of time and saw a good result from it. And for me, it was 2022 where I actually did elements of this for 3 or 4 months, and I was really unfit. And I ran 30:30 at Sydney 10. I'm like, that's a pretty big improvement from where I was in February. So I sort of believed in it then, but then it sort of got derailed with the heart stuff. And then you go from being like really good 10K shape to, I'm going to go and pace Gold Coast Marathon. And you start then changing your focus. And then because you've changed your focus or changed training too much, a niggle occurs. Whereas now I'm a little bit more locked in of like, hey, I'm just going to keep doing this sort of training until I feel like I've maxed out at 5K, 10K, half marathon times.
Hey, Moose, on that algorithm you're talking about, help me answer this question. I emailed Ryan, who did my testing at Ballarat last year. So my LT2 in that data was 168, but then I did Boston and I averaged 166. Like, I shouldn't be that close to my LT2 for 2.5 hours, should I?
No, LT2 is generally like an hour. Like an hour is what you can hold for about an hour, because that's when lactate starts to actually like really spike.
Or is it because I'm unfitter, or is it like the course profile that was like bringing it up and down? Like, it was accurate reading. I had my arm strap on the whole time.
But you might have spent like an hour underneath that threshold, and then towards the back end you run over threshold. Heart rate drift is a thing. So the longer that you're out exercising, the higher your heart rate gets just naturally. It's like a phenomenon or whatever I don't know what you call it, but it's just something that happens.
I think I was there like 10 miles in, 16K in. Let me just check.
You're at that heart rate?
Yeah, the 10th mile I averaged 167, and then I was pretty much, some of the downhill ones I was at 164, but pretty much, from 16K through to the finish, I would have averaged 167.
Yeah, underneath your threshold. Perfect.
One beat.
Sub-threshold. Well, maybe it's changed since you got tested.
Yeah, that's what I was asking him about.
It can change, but also like dropping down off threshold means you're clearing lactic. So like you can if you're a good clearer, then you can spend a lot closer to the red line because you're reusing that lactic for as energy. So that's where some of the best endurance athletes live, as close to threshold as they could possibly be.
I always thought LT1 was more closer to marathon.
Yeah, but remember mine are real close together, Croaks.
Yeah, that's
my LT1's 164 or 162, something like that. Yeah.
And I think it's with all this stuff, it's like we're not robots. There's so many variables that affect things on a daily basis. And I actually think the benefit of the lactate monitor is getting as much data as you can to see trends. And even within a session, like if you're running, let's say for me, I'm running 18K an hour, and normally if I do 6 reps of that, my lactate stays really, if I test after 2, 4, and 6, and it's normally in that like low 2s. And then one day I go out and I'm running 18K an hour on the treadmill and it starts off at 2, and then I test after 4 reps and it's 3. It's like, that's a sign that something's going on. So it's more about using it on a daily basis for looking at trends and realizing the body's not quite right on a particular day. So rather than just continuing to run 18K an hour because that's what you normally do, just dial it back, because obviously you're producing more lactate than you normally would at that sort of pace or effort. So I don't know, but I'm not an expert in this area, just playing around with it.
Good chat though. Moose, you started the week in London, ended it in Anglesey.
Yeah, geez, big week. That's a long trip, isn't it? I'd barely have a stopover too. It was still a long trip. What did I do? I did a bit of jogging. So on the Monday, I was obviously staying with at the Puma Run Summit, and they had a organised run. So that was on the Monday morning, and we had wear test kits from the future, boys. It was a wear test kit for shoes from the future. So I put on some shoes that I actually am about.
How far in the future, Moose?
Next year. So
Did you get to bring it home?
No. I'm sure some of them went missing. There was a few that never got handed back, and they
Did you bring anything home? Present for Bree?
Yeah, I got Bree some Aesop stuff.
Okay, that's like soap.
Did they give you a nice gift bag, Moose? You know, when you rock up to these things and you check in on your bed, there's all this Puma stuff.
You blokes heard, did you? I got stitched up.
No,
I got forgotten about.
Oh, did you? Nothing in the hotel room.
So I'd gone through 3 days in. I'm worn all my clothes that aren't Puma, and then I'm starting to think I'm going to have to start wearing some competitor stuff here because I got nothing. And I said to the other boys, "Hey, you fellas get anything?" They're like, "Oh yeah, we got this thing. It was laid out on our bed. It was beautiful.
Oh,
a pair of race shoes, pair of trainers, all these shorts and singlets." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then,
So then you have to ask. It gets a bit awkward then too, doesn't it?
So awkward, because I was about ready to go buy some Puma stuff just so I didn't look like a dickhead wearing Nike or Adidas or any competitive product. But yeah, I got
down well, Brady. The big alpha being left out.
I thought there was a special delivery coming.
What was
I thought, you boys get this pleb stuff. Where's the big dog stuff?
Yeah.
But no, I didn't get to take those shoes home. But it was good. Running with the group, ran with Puma people, ran with retailers from around the world. So I've got better at these things, fellas. I used to be real standoffish back in the day, real sort of kept to myself. And I'd go there and I'd never meet anyone. But now I'm talking to people and I'm more social and I'm making connections and I'm learning. So I was talking to some people from some bloke from Atlanta who's got like 14 running stores, and then running warehouse guy in the US, and Pro Direct in the UK, and few shoe designers as well that work for the team. So it was good. It was good connecting.
Were these wear test moves, were they jogging shoes or race shoes or both?
Somewhere in the middle, actually. Somewhere in the middle. It's a category of shoe that doesn't exist right now. I started the run. It was really difficult for me to get my head around because I started the run comparing it to shoes that exist that I thought that it sat next to. And then by the end of the run, I'm like, this isn't like those shoes at all, but it's also not like any other shoe that exists on the market right now. So I'm going to have to place this in a different area, and there's no shoes that really compete with it. So I can't compare it to anything. So that was probably the most exciting thing for me. Like that there's a shoe that exists now where nothing else ever has.
Hey, the running company should do what Pro Direct have done and go big on like sponsoring some big names. Like they've gone. I only know Pro Direct because Alfie is sponsored by Pro Direct and Ben Felton, and they pretty much just they pick all their like whatever different brands, all this kind of stuff, and just be like, this is what we're running at the moment. We got it from Pro Direct. Use my code, Alfie 10 for 10% off.
Yeah.
But like people that aren't aligned with brands that have massive reach.
Man, I've said that before. I've had that idea.
I know this is higher up than you at the running company. Like this would be an Australian-wide thing where you'd pick a couple of like big names, and just be like, wear whatever you want. We'll send you the latest shoes, and then just cover them in your content.
It's something I've definitely floated before. I've also, like you were mentioning about marathon groups, I've had this idea of, it was years ago when I was running well and I wanted to kind of be part of it, but I'm like, we should have a marathoning group. The running company sponsors a group that the athletes can pull shifts at the store to earn a little bit of coin on the side. The brands would throw this money behind this because they've got athletes in the store working as well as like marathoners.
The Aussie Hanson project.
Basically, yeah. Come down the surf coast. You don't have to go to bloody Michigan or wherever they're from. Come down to the surf coast, run in the best part of the world, live in God's country down here. And Ali and I discussed it at length.
Well, you're living in. I remember that episode. You're living in Ballarat, and you're talking about it.
Have we? Yeah, okay. I did float it on here, but the bit we couldn't really pull together was: would a young person want to move to a smaller coastal town and live as they are in the prime of their 20s or whatever?
Toby would. Toby followed you to two towns.
Toby could be Toby's the comeback king. I see he's running Great Ocean Road, I reckon.
Yeah, Reece Edwards pulled out today as well.
Oh, there you go.
Good news for Toby.
Cashed up. Well, we'll see. It's a big race down there. You always got Dion Finocchiaro coming down.
Yeah, he's going. Him and Toby, big head-to-head.
Okay. Well, I reckon he touched Toby up last time, Melbourne Marathon, 2021. You were in that pack too. He beat you too.
December year. Yeah, he ran off at us at about 26K, and Toby said, should we cover this move? And I said, nah, we'll see him up St Kilda Road. He put about a minute and a half into us from there. Strong run from D on that day.
Next day, did the same sort of run, just went a little bit longer. Ran with Stu he's from Running Warehouse Australia. He lives in WA. Ran with him, put a different pair of shoes on this time. This one's for the back half of this year. Didn't feel great on this run, to be perfectly honest. Actually, that was a bit less. Yeah, didn't feel great on this. Had a real sore back. And then travelled home. So fairly long way. Also picked up some sort of flu. So when I got home on the Thursday, I was like knocked out by Thursday lunchtime, just jet lagged and then by Thursday night, I just had full on like flu symptoms. Couldn't have felt much worse. slept in the spare room, had like got kicked out of the main room, but 10 and a half hours, and then woke up as if I hadn't slept a wink. I just felt so depleted and destroyed. And then I still ran because I felt like I needed to do something because I just sat in a plane for 24 hours the day before. And so 5:10s, that I did stop for a bit, forgot to start my watch, but yeah, pretty slow jogging. And then on Sunday, I went out for just a trail run. Again, flew for me, so I didn't push it. Just did 35 minutes on some single track, and that was enough to let the body recover. I feel a lot better now. Still not quite jet lagged, but the rest of the house is now sick. So my sleep has been decimated. Yeah, it's
Bree would be loving that. It's like you go away for a week to London. She's got all the kids. Then you come home and then get them all sick.
I can tell you one thing for sure. I won't be going away for a while. That's a given. But yeah, what is it, 30K? Body's feeling heaps better. I'm just like, knees feeling pretty good. I did tell you that the sports doctor reviewed the scans from like the second scan I got, and he found like a fairly large increase in the cartilage tear that I have in my patellofemoral joint. So that's not great. And he said that there's bits that are delaminating of cartilage, which is often why like the kneecap can kind of get caught or pinched, and it creates a lot of pain or locking or clicking. And so I've been getting a fair bit of that happening. So I will be reviewing with the surgeon. Their rooms are supposed to call me. I'm not going to be the one chasing this though, because at the moment I'm running and I'm not really feeling my knee at all. So let's just see how we go for a while, I reckon. And if it flares up, then maybe I check in there.
Okay, that's a positive.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's 30K a week, but I always I got to remind myself. 6 months ago, I was going pretty well, around 15:20 for 5K, 9:06 for 3K. I was feeling like I was about to really hit some good events, and that was only 6 months ago. I think it's easy to forget that you can turn things around pretty quickly. And it wasn't 2 years ago that I'm coming back from. It was only December where I was running really, really well.
Well, the flip side is I wasn't even running 6 months ago. Like I only just got over the calf stuff 6 months ago.
Exactly. And look,
I had three months off before that.
Unbelievable, isn't it? We're so short-sighted. Like
boys, I had like 20 weeks off with bone stress and then come 147th at Boston Marathon. Look at that.
But you're naturally talented.
You have the talent. We don't have the talent.
No.
We're hard workers. We need mileage.
I want to talk about talent in a second. I'll go through this week, but I've got a question for you, correct? So I think you'll be able to help me. Moose, you haven't quite got to this stage of your parenting yet, but you'll have an opinion on it. Real straightforward week for me, though. This was like week 2 after a marathon. So just looking to return to jogging, get in a routine. Did a bit of a workout, but it wasn't much. Monday, did 50 minutes, 4:28s. Tuesday, 60 minutes, 4:33s. Just got in my notes here. Incredible weather for late April. Like 14, 15 degrees at 7 a.m. Sun's rising. Just beautiful. I'm worried, though, it's going to get to September when we're expecting it to get warm again, and it's still going to be like wintry weather. That's what I'm worried is going to happen here. Wednesday was 55 minutes, Thursday 56 minutes, and then Friday I just did 20 minutes easy, and then I just did a 20-minute tempo. I didn't look at pace or anything for this one. First time I've ever done a workout listening to a podcast. I was listening to you and Izzy talk, Croaks. Good interview, well done. And then I just did 20 minutes cool down, and the middle 20 minutes was like at 3:31 pace I saw after I saved the run. So that was nice to get going. No sign of DOMs at all. Like 3 days after Boston, I was like shot. And then, I don't know, maybe it's been 10, 12 days. I'm feeling like most of that fatigue well, just that fatigue that you get straight away when you go to put some intensity in isn't like yelling at me, which is good. Saturday was also 60 minutes, 4:33s. And then Sunday, I was planning to do 90 minutes. I got 72 minutes done because then we had like thunder and lightning and I didn't want to die out there. And I'm like, why do I need to run 90 minutes? 70 minutes will do me today. That was 4:26s. Week was 93K. Hungry to get back into things, boys. And I was thinking today, because I see this with my athletes, like, is there anything more dangerous than someone 2 weeks post-marathon? If you've had a shit one, you want to get going. If you had a good one, you want to get going.
Yeah, I actually had coffee last week with one of the guys who I coached who ran Ballarat and ran a PB. And he's like, yeah, I'm ready to get back into it. I'm just like, look, let's just chill out because you might feel like physically and mentally like you're good to go. But I think you often underestimate how much goes into that marathon block that right now you feel fine, but then you get into the slog of training again. And within a couple of weeks, you're like, ugh. So you're better off actually enjoying this period, letting the marathon block and the marathon itself be absorbed and then get going again.
Yeah. And I think it does depend on your like block leading in. Like some people had great blocks and they need the mental and the physical reset. Whereas if you had a few interruptions leading in or your block wasn't as big as you'd liked it to be, maybe you can, and your race went really well, like you didn't bonk and you ran kind of even throughout. And the other stress that people have in life as well really needs to be taken into account. But my question for you, Croaks, I went and watched my son do school cross country today. I just wonder, and when, 10 times sweat versus steam winner and you got your local son at the 1K cross country, found it. How do you act when you go watch Lily do like sporting events?
I try and actually stay really chilled. So Collis had his first ever soccer game on Saturday and Lily had her first ever basketball game on Sunday. And I really don't like kids sport. I think so when I was a kid, I played like heaps of different sports, was never like, I suppose, amazing at any of them. And so knowing that like I've ended up running reasonably well for never having done it until I was 17. So I guess with my own personal background, I'm like, well, there's no need for Lily to be, although she wants to go and run more and do all that stuff. I'm just like, nah, I'm just holding you back so that when we actually do go for a run every now and then, you actually enjoy it.
Yeah.
And you continue to enjoy it, and you enjoy it when you're like 15 and 16. And then if you actually want to do it properly, then we can have that discussion.
I think I have similar mentality for like same thing at basketball and Auskick and all those kind of things. But when it's running, like all I know with running is like passion. Let's go. Let's kick this home. Yeah. Come on. These kids are struggling up ahead. So like half my brain is like, let's do that. The other half is like, well done, Hudson. Keep it going, mate. Like, and he's smart. And that's who I was today. But I said to one of my colleagues next to me, I'm like, geez, I've got this voice in my head that wants to just let absolute loose here and show a bit of that passion. Like, drive the arms. Come on, let's go. Kick this home. Which I didn't obviously do because I didn't want to be that parent. But I was like, this is a weird feeling.
I think I still think you want to cheer for them because
I was cheering, but I wasn't coaching.
You don't want to be silent. And there's actually a bit of an eye opener. So some of the parents at Lily's school cross country, like they obviously know that I run, and they said something about and like they were getting quite vocal, and I sort of made it known that I never represented my primary school, and this is like growing up in a really small coastal town. Never represented my primary school or my high school in athletics or cross country until I was in year 11. And that sort of like blew their mind a little bit because they were like yelling at their kids and that sort of thing. I'm like, hey, like Lily finished second in her cross country. And I'm like, well, Lily, you've done better than what I ever did at primary school.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, that's what I was like when, like, because Hudson came like midfield, like wasn't first, wasn't last kind of thing. But I'm like, people expecting him to win this because he's my son. And then when he didn't win it, I'm walking back to the car going, oh, well, we better start training. Like we could rock up. I know the formula to rock up and smoke all these grade 2s next year. But then I'm like, don't do it, Brady. Same thing. I didn't do that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, with this, it was really strange, Moose. Wait till you get to this with Pia. She'll be racing Ali's kid first, taking across the line.
Moose will be vocal.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I sort of feel sorry for the kids in a way. Like
well, Hudson doesn't know it yet.
Yeah, like the amount that Lily knows that I run, and Lily knows that I coach, and Lily knows that I'm on a running podcast and my life is running. And so I'm sure there's an element of, well, like Daddy probably expects me to, be really good at running because he does it. And it's like, and even I say to Lil, like with whatever we're doing, it's like, Lil, do you want to go for a bike ride? And I've always said to her, Lil, I'll say, hey, do you want to go for a bike ride? But if it gets to the point where it's not fun anymore, you just tell me and we won't do it. It's like, you don't have to do this stuff, okay? So yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky as a parent.
Tricky parenting. Yeah, all those, the newborn Moose is out at the moment. Like you have issues when it's a newborn and then toddlers, and now you get these things when they start getting to school. Just parenting's hard.
You're taking that. I'll be taking these. These don't sound like problems to me right now.
So
not a single problem I heard right there.
You tell me you get 8 hours sleep and all you have to do is watch your kid at cross country?
And decide whether to cheer or not?
Yeah. Hey, boys, I also, Croaks, I found my backpack, or Ballarat Marathon found it. How good's that? Poppy from Ballarat Marathon. You come across Poppy before, Moose? Really good operator. Works for Tomato Timing as well. She sent me a message going, hey, I think we've found a backpack that has a boarding pass in the side and your name's in the boarding pass. And then I didn't realise this, but she's like, there's also a finisher's medal for Boston Marathon in one of the pockets. And I'm like, oh, can you get that back to me, please? Massive thanks to Ballarat Marathon for finding my backpack.
And your heart rate strap?
Heart rate's in there. Well, I haven't got the backpack back yet. It's with a mate who lives in Ballarat, and next time he comes to a Chukamoama, he's just going to bring it back. So I don't know when that's going to be. But a bit of freedom not having heart rate on. Just listen to the body.
You definitely don't need heart rate right now.
Nah.
Like it's a good chance to do the opposite of what Croaks is doing.
Good chance to run way too quick.
Just turn the volume down a bit.
I can't wait to see him race next week. It's going to be good. Let's thanks to Patreon supporters. Who you got, Croaks?
I got Kirby Delamont. Strava is locked down, but her bio says she's an Aussie living in New York, and I did find some results, so hopefully they're hers. 42.57 at the 2019 Sydney Harbour 10K, 140 at the 2024 Gold Coast Half Marathon, and 3:31 at last year's Chicago Marathon. Has also run the New York Marathon back in 2024. Works for Bond Civil and Utility, working on deals that get power infrastructure built, so renewables, T&D, battery storage, alongside utilities and independent power developers across the Northeast US. Sounds like a very important job. Yeah, thanks for your support, Kirby.
Good to have a New York City listener too, isn't it? Wouldn't have many over there. That's the one thing I got for Boston. Not enough people know who we are, fellas, over in the American market.
What do you mean? How do you know that?
Just when I was rubbing shoulders with some of Jordo's mates, introducing myself, never heard of us.
How do you introduce yourself?
My name's Brady Trailford, 2-time Stall Sash winner. Nah, Jordo would just introduce me, go, this is Brady, my friend from Australia, does a podcast.
Why do you reckon that is? We don't, like, there's just too many other running media outlets over there. Plus, we don't really cover the US running scene that much.
Got some big US guests coming up. US Olympic medalist.
We're about to get big in the US, boys. Don't worry about that.
About to blow up in the US. That's why I went to Boston, just to spread the word. That was good. Big market. Maybe they can't understand the Australian slang. Don't know.
Yeah. Surely, though, some of our, we
got some listeners over there, but not compared to the UK.
You have Cam on the podcast, and then somebody on Let's Run will say, hey, like Inside Running Podcast interviewed Cam, and, like that would at least get us out there a little bit.
Yeah, track and field market's still very small. Like, so for example, Alfie's interview that went out Saturday is doing bigger numbers than what Cam's did on the weekly show.
Oh, he's gone to flex on you there, Croaks.
No, I'm not flexing.
Really gone. Oh, yes, he has.
I'm not flexing the person.
Flex on us, Moose. That was our interview.
I'm just saying that people, they're not listening to me interview Alfie. It's an interest. I was looking at it today. I was like, oh wow. Like even like he did double Izzy it's only been a couple of days, so the trend might change a bit. But I was like, okay, this is weird. But he also shared it to 100,000 followers on Instagram, and it was his first interview post London. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting space, the podcast world, and what gets traction. But I think the track and field market is smaller than influencer UK big mass participation events.
Do you know that where there's a real market, I think, is for learnings and teachings about running in a podcast? Like we talk education, yeah. Just we should do a sideshow where we discuss one topic in detail for 45 minutes a week. And like Croak's banged on about this fucking lactic stuff for 45 minutes in his week. But we could actually...
We've only been going for 55 minutes, so I don't think that's true.
We could do it like, it could be, like I listened to Seth's interview and how he talks about hills, and there's just so much that we could go into. And there's so many new people to the sport. And when I'm new to something, what's a recent thing for me? I don't know. What have I... Oh, like let's say like
dog training. Remember when you were going through that dog training phase?
Yeah, but I'm an expert at that now, so I don't need. Like, if I want to buy a thing from my car, right? I'll go on podcasts about 4-wheel drives and that. That's what people will do about running, and we're probably an opportunity to talk about it like more educationally, I think.
Well, we spoke as well about potentially doing like a coach's corner. Like you get some of our best ever coaches on the podcast and talk to them about training.
Yeah, but I reckon you just go like what Moose is saying. Like just go 45 minutes on what is the appropriate jogging pace for an easy day.
Yeah.
And then the next week, let's talk about threshold training this week.
Yeah. What is it? How do you do it? How do you do it wrong? Some examples of some workouts you could do. How do you progress it? When not to do it?
We should pitch it to someone, because I don't actually want to do it. I'd love to listen to it and just get some good coaches to do it.
Yeah, that'd be good. Let's do it.
Yeah, it's a little Inside Runner podcast meeting that we just had here in the last 5 minutes to discuss content.
Back to Patreons.
Croaks, who are you thanking?
No, I've already thanked mine.
It's me.
Nathan.
No,
sorry.
I am.
Sorry.
It's Popey, Nathan Pope from Adelaide. He is a Team Tempo man. He is the guy that when we said, geez, you'd hate to have Sam Hopper's job, well, this bloke put his hand up and said, hey, I'll come and do Sam Hopper's job with him, or I'll just cover the Victorian, South Australian markets, and Sam can do Northern Australia or wherever he goes. So he's basically a little mini bitch version of Sam Hopper. But he's a good runner too. So he's run 15:48 for 5K on the track, 39:10 at the 2024 City to Bay 12K, 72 minutes at the 2024 Barossa Half Marathon, and 2:32 at the 2024 Gold Coast Marathon. So yeah, he's one. He'll drive the van around to different events, like the big ones that they sponsor, like Gold Coast, and they sponsor that Buffalo. That remember that Buffalo Stampede, like all hands on deck. He's up there with the wear test kits, handing them out, talking to people about shoes, being an ASICS employee / ambassador. Good fella.
That's good to hear. Thank you, Nathan, for your support of the show. I'm going to thank Joshua Hudson. Couldn't find him on Strava, but based on some results we found, he may be from Albury. There we go, boys. Murray River country. If that is him, then he has ran 15:40 at the Albury Park Run.
Whoa,
wow.
That's actually about 4.7K, the Albury Park Run.
Is it? I've got to say, that'd be nearly Paddy Stowe kind of areas, wouldn't it? 15:40.
That could be where Pat Stowe claims his PB from, actually.
Okay. 2:30 at last year's Gold Coast Marathon, and was third at last year's Nail Can Hill Fun Run. Iconic fun run, Albury Wodonga. Hilly, off-road, dangerous. And my boy Paddy Stowe become a 4-time winner of it on Sunday. You got that in the results later on, Crooks?
No, I haven't actually.
He flicked up the 4 fingers crossing the line. Love
Big
that.
dog. Looked like he beat a strong 12-year-old for second, though.
Yeah, 12 to 14, I think, somewhere in that age bracket.
Good from Paddy. He's back. He's
back.
He's back. We've lost him for a while in the sport, but he's come back strong. He's come back slow, which we like, don't we? We like it when they come back slow and progressive.
Give us a slow comeback. He hit me up the other day asking me to sign a finisher shirt so he can frame it and put it in his physio practice. He's got one up there of some AFL player. He's got Andy Buchanan's Australian singlet. And then I'm like, I'm not doing this, Paddy. I'm like, you cannot put something from me. He's like, no, you've got more influence than these guys put together. And I'm like, no, I don't. I'm not sending you this thing to frame.
What singlet did he want you to sign?
Nah, the finisher's top from Boston. You get like a finisher's top.
No, you're going to hang on to that. Can't be giving that away, mate.
Well, he's like, no, but then he's like, oh, just buy something that just says Boston on it over there. And I'm like, I'm not. I appreciate your support. You do not need a frame top of me in your office.
So he's gone and given you this
return to run.
He looked after you with this, and you won't even do that for him.
It was a joke. He shouldn't be doing it.
Oh, mate.
I'm happy. I'll drop him some money or something in his bank account. He doesn't need it. No one wants to rock up to a physio appointment and see a finisher's top from.
I think you're selling yourself short here, Brady. You're the number one voice in Australian running podcast.
Yeah, he's the number one return to run pet man. He doesn't need the number one voice on his wall.
He's reached out to you and you've let him down, I reckon.
These things can happen. Patreon.com/Inside Runner Podcast for all our Patreon needs over there. Huge week. This content, I don't know how it's happened. Zach has been on working his keyboard. We've got collabs. We've got interviews. Got big ones coming up. Last week was the biggest week of content we've ever put out. So, and no, some of those are partnerships, but most of it comes down to the support of our patrons. So the show stays alive. So then we can keep doing partnerships. So that audio goes there early. So I did want to say a massive thank you to all our Patreon supporters for getting us to episode 444. Yeah, we were like top 30, top 35 in the charts for like most of the weeks. And that's up against like Formula One shows, Triple M, SEN, Fox Sports. Like we're just making this in our shed. So yeah, it was really overwhelming in a way to see how many people kind of listened to the show last week, which was, really cool.
And not even the number one in the country in the running podcast, apparently.
Yeah, we were, weren't we? No, that was a week before. Backyard Ultras got us
second.
We're back. We're back on top though. Something with the algorithm. I don't know what happened there. Algorithm hates us.
Brady took a week off. That's what happened. Number one voice went missing.
That's right. It did actually correspond with when Cam Myers filled in.
I was away, and it's actually I turned into Inside Running Podcast fan, and I was listening.
Yeah, sorry.
I listen to a podcast. Then I also I listen to the main one. Then I listen to Izzy, and I listen to Alfie, and I listen to Seth. I listen to Road to Somewhere. I'm like, holy shit! This is. If every one of my podcasts I listen to put this much content out, I would be over the moon. I got something every day to listen to.
One of my favourite moments from last week's content was when Izzy's like, "Oh, I thought you would have asked me more questions about this."
Great!
Ropes.
Wasn't that great?
Just put him on the ropes.
And
Seth did similar to me too.
Yeah,
I thought I came back pretty well there though.
You come back real good. Just shut down the whole MTC marathon training.
You were scrambling a bit, and then you did start asking her some questions just to make her feel good.
Get an extra 10 minutes in. She's overseas. She's on a holiday. She's given up some time to do this interview, and then she's got shit questions for the first half an hour.
I thought she would have been happy to say, "Oh, fine, see you later." But she wanted to talk more.
Nah, that's easy for you, though. That's easy.
That was good. Always good catching up with Izzy.
And Moose patrons, they get 10% off across our catalogue from 3 stores. That's a running company, Torquay, Geelong and Canberra.
Yeah. Well, basically, you just hit this. It's on our page, shop our favourites. You just hit a form. Pretty much anything you're after, Jimmy will try and find it for you. So if you've seen something out there and you say, hey, I'd like that, but I'd also like to get 10% off, and I'm a paid up Patreon member, then Jimmy will sort you out. So just have a chat to Jim through that form. And he'll hunt it down. If you get it in before 5, get shipped the same day. Beautiful.
All on our website, InsideRunnerPodcast.com for those details. Running news, Croaks.
Yep. Brought to us by Precision Fuel and Hydration this week. And I'm going to kick off with the Runaway Sydney Half Marathon. So Ed Goddard, speaking of four-peats, this is the fourth year in a row that he's won this event. He ran 66.25 to beat James Nipper 66.38, and Drew Fryer was third in 66.55. In the women's, Abigail Norberg got the win there, 76.26, beat Ruby Madden 77.58, and Bethany Garland was third in 79.04.
This is peak Ed Goddard. Sydney half marathon,
Canberra half marathon,
not that much competition. Looks good too, you know what I mean? Like this is good photogenic kind of Ed Goddard style stuff here.
Yeah, James Nipper is a good runner.
He is. He's been a good runner for a long time.
Came off Tokyo. He had a good, ran like 2:14.59 maybe chip time at Tokyo this year. Nipper's
had some great like world marathon majors off the participation line, like wave A. Because I was looking through Boston results and I think was he first home off wave A from Boston last year? 2:17-ish?
Yeah, I think he was part of that Puma, Puma crew.
Oh yeah.
Just on that, like the Puma, they call it this, I think, sub-3 project, but they had 200 people running at London, and for anyone that ran a PB of 3 minutes or more, they paid, I think it was $3,000 US.
Yeah, and
bonus.
If you ran a PB, you got 1,000.
Yeah, and this is so the criteria were that you had to have an entry to the race already, so they couldn't go and source you 200 entries to get in this event, and I think you had to be sub-3 or faster type runner around that area. So they had a guy run 2:13, I think, which would have been the Nipper sort of quality athlete there. And then they had people all the way back. But what was outstanding was at the 40K mark, which is where I was watching from, the amount of Puma head-to-toe athletes coming past, up until the 3-hour mark, 200 people wearing the same kit. They dominated that front, like 200, obviously, but more than that, all the way back to the 3-hour mark. They absolutely dominated it. And it's all that you could see. And maybe I was biased because I was standing around a bunch of Puma people, but you just kept seeing waves of pink, blue, orange coming through. And I loved how they backed people in and paid them bonuses like that. Very good project. Very good points for them, I reckon.
Yeah, well, Boston was the same. They're all around me. Blokes just flying past you. You were passing them. Like, everywhere you looked, you just saw that rainbow Puma kit.
Yeah, they've nailed it. Whoever was in charge of that nailed it.
Yeah, you still had to apply for it, though. It wasn't just, we'll take anyone.
No.
Because I looked at it, because I was talking to Chriso about it when he was maybe going to still do Boston. I'm like, let's put our name in for this, Chriso. Let's, two blokes have got no chance to run the PB and earn us some money. Let's see if we can get a free pair of shoes.
Did you?
No, then I decided against it in the end because I actually looked at the application and I feel like it was quite big, like 1,000 words or something.
Oh, yeah, right.
But, wouldn't have taken that much effort, but I was just like, oh yeah, this is, which I think is like you want something thorough. So you're getting people who really want to be in your program.
Well, they're representing you. So you have to you do have to filter through a little bit. You got to be selective.
And you had to put in like your social media handles and all that stuff. So I think they'd be pretty strategic with who they'd be choosing to get some kind of reach.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to pay that much money, then probably a good thing.
Yeah. And obviously those shoes aren't cheap. Kit. Moose, what news you got? Adelaide Marathon.
Marathon.
Didn't even know this was happening. Actually kind of crept up on me a bit.
Well, it happens every year, mate. It happens every single year. I mean, Bree reminded me she came second at this event once.
Yeah, different time of the year, though, when she did it.
Yes, it was. It was August, I think. Because she did it to get a bumped up start line corral at Berlin. So she could. But anyway, enough about Bree. She was pretty happy to tell me that, actually. Straight up big thanks to Matt who works with the race. He got my man Will, who has the worst luck in the world, similar to Tom DeCanto in getting sick before marathons. So he got ill before Ballarat, and he managed, and Matt was good enough to let Will into the field, give him an entry to Adelaide. So he got over there and got a marathon in off the block, which satisfied him. But the marathon, it's not the fastest course, and they had some horrific conditions out there as well. Quite windy. I think there was a bit of rain that came down. But Fraser Darcy, he won. He's an Adelaide stalwart. 2:29 he ran. Will, he came second, 2:31. And Nicholas Callanan came third, 2:34. In the ladies, Leanne Szeto, she ran 2:45 to beat Jane Fardell, 2:52, and Monique Hollick, 2:55. Half marathon, the first and second place in the men's did get sent the wrong way. And I believe maybe fifth and sixth in the actual marathon also got sent the wrong way.
There was some course confusion across the board, I think.
Yeah, not great when that happens, is it?
I was thinking about this today, and I feel like some of these events try to, I think, do too much. And what I mean by that is they have the marathon, they have a half, they have a 10, they have a 5, they have a kids race, all within the space of a few hours. And that logistically is going to cause issues, I think, unless you have like a really well-run team. Why don't events look at taking a leave? I know it's very hard comparing Adelaide to Valencia, but build throughout the year. Have an event that's a 10K event. Then they build a few months later and it's a half marathon event. Then a marathon. Like, I feel like people would still get on board with that. And it just means that I think the runner experience is better because you're not having marathoners up the back of half marathoners because everyone's running a marathon, everyone's running a half marathon, everyone's running 10K. I just feel like there needs to be more of that rather than trying to keep everybody happy on the one day by offering 5, 6, 7 different distances.
Yeah, but you're closing the roads 4 different days. Like these guys close the road for 4 hours or 6 hours or whatever it is. And they try to smash out a year's worth of racing in one morning.
But 3 times a year, closing some roads? Like, yeah, okay, if it's like the Sydney Harbour Bridge or something is harder. But I don't know. What are your thoughts, Moose?
Well, it's only a 10K. Your 10K doesn't have to close the road anything near a marathon. And what happens, like Croak said, is that you've got marathon bib, half bib, 10K bib, 5K bib coming up to a certain intersection or corner. And you've got a marshal there who's a volunteer. And they might have only gone to, say, one briefing over the past 12 months. And then they've got a quicker reminder the day before. But all of a sudden, they got all these runners coming at them. And they're like, who's this? Who's that? Like
different bib colours for different directions.
Yeah, it's actually really overwhelming. I'm not sure if you've ever stood on a marshal point, but it's kind of tough when that happens. So yeah, the amount of different bibs and races is probably what is the issue there, like you said, Croaks. So I'm kind of with you on that, and I think you could get away with putting some courses. Like you don't need to shut too many rows for a 5K or a 10K. Not for it. These are the South Australian road runners that put the event on. They've probably got access to courses where they aren't shutting roads. Like Adelaide's full of parks, and they've got probably areas that you can shut off to put a race on quite easily.
Plus, I feel like it's a good progression then throughout like a winter season that, you race a 10K and then you go away and train and come back and race the half. And
I like it.
I like it too. But let's go back to the results. Christopher Deegan, he won the half, 67.37, and Adrian Potter was second in 68.26. Max Stevens crossed, maybe he didn't. I thought Max crossed the line in first in 71.26, but
I think that's what he actually did. And so I think
I watched a video today, and it had like Chris coming through the line, having a discussion with someone at the finish line, and then it had Adrian Potter coming through, and then Adrian did like a quick U-turn and went straight back out in the road. And then Chris saw him do that. So then he started chasing Adrian, and then like had Max coming through, and then it was just like confusion. And then Nitter was there. Yeah. Nitter was hanging over the fence talking to Adrian Potter, trying to figure it out. But yeah, it was a bit.
I think there was a discussion amongst the runners. So I heard that originally first and second. So who's it? Chris and Potter were going to actually be DQ'd, and then I think it was third place. Like Max was like, no, like those guys were way in front. Like they deserved to be first and second, and I think Chris was well in front of Potter when they sort of went off course. So they sort of then just went, Chris would have won the event, give him first. Potter was in second, so not ideal. So I wouldn't even worry about those times too much, but they're the times on the website.
Yeah. All right. Well, forget the times. In the ladies, Tara Palm won. She ran 78 minutes. Flora Johnson second, 81 minutes, and C Chan 85 minutes. In the 10K, Matthew Smith from WA, I think he ran 30:57. Casey Atkinson 31:01. Cooper Giles 31:13. In the 10K, Kate Holland Smith 35:44 beat Brooke Hines 36:15 and Ella Donnelly 36:22. Pretty good results in the 10K. I think this is because it was the South Australian State Championships. A couple more people show out there.
That was Adelaide. That was the news. Thanks to Precision Fuel and Hydration. Chances are you're gearing up for a race yourself, but how dialed in is your race day nutrition? Precision Fuel and Hydration makes it simple with a free online planner. Visit precisionhydration.com and get your numbers today. I'm light on the whispers, fellas. Don't have anything. Whoa. Quiet time for the whispering.
Well, can you give us like AV whispers? Who's strong this year?
AV, why are AV doing their first round on Mother's Day? Tell me that.
Mate, it's a pretty jammed up calendar.
Not good. I have beef with AV doing stuff like that doesn't suit regional people.
What? Yeah, but
it's, come on, 3 hours away, 2 hours away, whatever you are. You don't want to leave on Mother's Day, do a 5K road race in Melbourne that goes for 15 minutes, spend another 3 hours driving home. I know everyone doesn't live as far away as I do, but I'm like, let's show some love to the mums out there and let the morning be about them, hey? And maybe that is lacing up and doing a 5K. But yeah,
enough. Pay that.
That's not a whisper though. I got some good stuff overseas, but I want to keep a bit of content for the monthly on Wednesday night.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Hey, I got some shoes. I'm going to try some shoes out in a workout this week from overseas. A development shoe.
I may have seen this.
Did you get some in London?
No, I didn't get any.
Would I be the only person in the country with that shoe?
No, I reckon some people would have it.
You reckon some Nike athletes?
Yeah.
They didn't run it at Ballarat though.
No, well, it's not. It's a marathon. They didn't run the distance you probably use it for.
Oh, really? You wouldn't expect to see Brett Robinson running a half marathon in it? Sinead a 10K?
No, probably not.
Okay. All right. I was just going to get Carly to take a photo of me doing a workout in it just to flex a bit.
Yeah, well, you're sort of on the streak for flexing on us.
Yeah.
Croaks, there's another one he's just done. Oh, do you get a pair?
Yeah.
You told me you were going to try and get a pair in London.
And what did you hear the bit last week? It's like, oh, guess what shoe I was wearing at Ballarat? The light spray.
That's a comfortable shoe, Moose. Once you get it on, it's comfortable.
I actually love that shoe, and I love the midsole. And did you guys get a pair of the inline ones, like the ones with laces?
Which what's
like
it
the
called?
Cloud Monster Hyper? No, Cloud Monster Hyper 3.
Purple.
Yeah.
And the yellow one, just the monster.
Yeah, but I don't really like the monster, but I like the Monster Hyper, the purple one.
Yes,
I love that shoe.
We got the Hyper with the laces, and the light spray.
Oh, they're both good, but I reckon that purple, the Monster 3, that could be one of the most. That's a replacement for Super Blast 2 for me.
Monster 3 Hyper.
Yeah.
The purple, yeah.
Yeah, Monster 3 Hyper.
Yeah.
Not the light spray. That's probably not a long run shoe. I'm not sure the lacing, the fit could accommodate a long run. I think it's a faster shoe.
Do you find it hard to get on and off?
Not really. Like the old ones, like the last version of this in the race model was so much harder to get on.
Okay. So I'm finding that for this version. Like this took me a couple of minutes to get it on.
No.
Yeah.
Nah.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I didn't have that issue.
Yeah.
Does it fit small? Does it fit big? Something like that?
No, it's pretty true.
Which I'm thinking it may lock me down better. Like I may be able to take it off-road.
Off-road?
Wow, I don't even want to run in it yet because it looks so good.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I could be flexing on this for a couple of months still.
It's a piece of art, isn't it?
Like that it is. It's an art. It's a collector's item.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful piece of shoe.
Have you worn just the standard Monster 3 Moose?
No.
Yeah, I've worn that. It's a good shoe too.
You haven't worn that one yet.
Yellow one.
I've got too many shoes and not enough miles.
Hey, give us a Shoe Geeks episode.
Yeah, I know. Do you know what? Tom DeCano is on holiday like 99% of his life, and Nitter will not do any podcast work outside of like 9 to 5 business hours. He won't do it after hours. So it's almost impossible. I've been hammering him. Don't worry. I've been on there going.
Yeah, I knew you would have been.
Let's do it. I've got some stuff to talk about. And then, yeah, Tommy's on holiday, and then Nitter, he just doesn't like working. But I'm pushing him.
Yeah, I want to know what Tommy thought about the Mizuno racing marathon in that, the Hyper.
Didn't even ask him yet. Didn't even ask him. I just got straight in there and said, fantastic second place to Caden.
I actually want to know a play-by-play what happened like from 38K onwards too.
Oh, yeah. 38, I reckon he might have been the move point.
Well, they were together at 40 or 41.
Tommy said that he felt like he just hadn't run enough miles, like compared to what he normally does, and his legs were just like lead, like late in the race.
Yeah, they kicked down pretty hard. Anyway, listen to question brought to you by Precision Fuel and Hydration Croaks.
Yeah, so the question is, I find that I feel sluggish at the start of 10K road races and perceived effort is way higher than it should be. How should I be warming up so that I'm firing on all cylinders from the start of the race instead of 4 kilometres in?
And if you tape it into it, this can be common. Like just to feeling a bit sluggish early on.
Just for some context. So I reckon back in the day when I was younger, a warm-up was jog around for a short period of time, save your energy for the race, then go and blast a few like 15, 20-second strides. Like that was the warm-up because you don't want to do too much before the race because you want to be fresh on the start line. But I feel now that a 10K race is like the muscle fatigue and that sort of thing is never really going to be a limiting factor. And every session that I do, say I'm doing 6-minute reps, I feel garbage for the first couple of reps. I feel better from rep 3, 4, 5, and 6. So do we need to change the way that we warm up for these races so that we're starting the race feeling like rep 3 of a session, not rep 1?
Yeah, I think we do. I think if you look at cyclists, like those guys, but for their time trial, because that's essentially what we do like when we race. It's not like we sit in the pack and jog around and then sprint at the end, like some of those longer cycling races. It's like the time trial stage where you're expected to pretty much find your limit and stay on it for the entire race. Those guys are doing some fairly high intensity stuff during their warm up. Like they want to be ready to go once that gun goes, and they don't want some like shock to the system. I remember before a Ballarat 15K one time, like I was given by my coach at the time, he said, we're going to do a different warm up about 15 minutes to the start line. You're going to go and run, I think it was 2 by 3 minutes. And it was at about like 3:20 pace, just slightly slower than the race. And I thought, oh, you're kidding, right? Like that's too.
You've never done that. You're like, oh, I want to save my energy.
Exactly. Like I'm wasting everything here.
I need that 6 minutes for when I'm racing.
Yeah. And I did it. And I just felt so good off the start line. Like it just felt slow. It didn't feel like I was having to reach mechanically for the effort. And I thought, oh, there's something in this. Like this is actually pretty clever. And then like even training, I remember when I was at Chico, the standard warm-up would be some strides, sure, but then before the race starts, I think you pretty much do two laps, so 800 meters, where you'll do 200 meter surge, 200 jog, 200 surge, and it felt like really good because 200 meters was like 35 seconds at the time, so you're running like a minute 10 rather than like a 10-second stride.
Yeah. Well, even for my taper session before the Canberra 10K, it kicked off with a relatively comfortable mile. And then I had 90 seconds recovery before I went into some like quicker K reps. And those K reps definitely felt better than had I just started with the K reps. So I guess the question is, what length and how much of this like sub-threshold stuff would you do before the race? Because I tried something different in Canberra and I don't think it worked that well. I did 3 1-minute reps. But I don't think that was even enough to get me fully primed. I think it needs to be probably 3 minutes at least.
Yeah, Dan Nash had me on the 3-minute.
And probably a couple of them even.
3 minutes. Was it 2 by 3 minutes? Let me open up my Strava. I reckon it was like a 2 by 3 minutes and then 1 30-second.
Yeah.
Like the 30-second was pretty like hard.
And this is like you're finishing all this about 10 minutes before the start of the race?
I reckon he had for me, 12 to 15 maybe. Like, and then you just, can do some light jogging. But yeah, that was like, they call it a bit of a primer, don't they?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But I reckon it's one aspect of running that, and look, I'm sure the pros actually do it. But I just think back to every race I ever used to do, it was a jog and 100-meter strides and then stand on the start line.
Yep. Yeah, same.
And I don't think that's the way to go, especially, and I think it's even more important, this priming stuff for older athletes, because it does take a while to actually get going.
Yeah, definitely.
So just opening this Strava file now. Yeah, it looks like. Yeah, see, I was doing these reasonably quick too. Did you say you were doing them slower than race pace, Moose?
Just slower, yeah.
Yeah, I did 3 minutes at 3:10 pace here, and then a hard 30 seconds, 2:42 pace. That wouldn't be right. Yeah. And I averaged like 3:10s for the race. So that's the K I needed for the race. Pretty much did 22K that day of the half marathon. Good one. Do we answer that question? What should he do?
Oh, maybe some extended intervals, I think. Maybe just even around threshold pace.
Yeah, that's what Dan had me doing.
Yeah.
Do 3K easy jogging, change into your race shoes, couple of drills, 3 minutes at threshold, maybe jog around for a few more minutes, maybe a couple of, 20-second strides quicker than race pace.
I think another thing you could
Make
do
sure
is
all that's done before 10 minutes before you start.
You could also make that 15-minute warm-up section a bit progressive. So rather than just doing 15 minutes at 5-minute Ks, you could start at 5-minute Ks and work down to 3:45s by the end of that 15 minutes. Then you go and change your shoes and you do a couple of the 3 minutes and then some shorter strides afterwards.
Yeah, and don't run your race in your warm-up though, like in your head. Like if it feels like I've had some of my best races feeling the worst I ever have in the warm-up. So don't let that stuff get you down.
Yeah.
If you're like, geez, it feels like this K should be 4:40s and it's really 5 flat. But yeah, thank you to Precision Fuel and Hydration. Visit precisionhydration.com and use the code IRP2026 for 15% off your first order. What's coming up, Croaks? You interviewing this week?
So Wednesday afternoon, our time, I'm interviewing Evan Jager. Olympic silver medalist from the 2016 Olympics in the steeple.
I think he's making his marathon debut this weekend, Copenhagen.
Yeah, I saw that on Let's Run. So, looking forward to, I guess, unpacking his career. And he works for Nomeo now. So I'll have a few questions about Nomeo as well.
Good. What else is happening in your life?
Not much. Training, kids' sport. That's about it. Mother's Day, Sunday.
Mother's Day, yep. Got Viv a present?
Yeah, got a couple.
Oh,
couple?
Yeah.
Jeez.
What?
Yep.
What do you get her?
This guy's got so much time, Moose. He's organised with these kind of things.
Yeah.
I can't tell you.
She won't listen, does she?
Yeah, she does.
Give her a Patreon subscription, something like that.
I
couple of tubs of Nomeo. That's what she'll be getting, Moose.
I was going to joke that when I got the lactate monitor, I was going to like put it on Instagram saying, "Don't tell Viv, she'll love it for Mother's Day."
That'd be a bad move from you. What are you doing, Moose? You in Anglesea the whole week or back up to Canberra?
I am going to Melbourne on Wednesday. I'll be up there Wednesday, Thursday, then back down on the coast until next week. And then I'm up in Canberra Monday to Wednesday, actually. So if I'm running, Croaks, maybe you could come pick us up, drive us out to Mulligan's. What do you reckon?
Get to the track on a Tuesday night.
Yeah, come next Tuesday for our taper sesh.
What time do you start?
5:30 warm up. Except actually, I've been starting earlier. I get there when the track's empty, and then I do my cool down with the guys' warm ups.
Have a go at the lactate meter, Moose.
I've got one. You know that. I used
how
to
much
do those tests.
How much are strips?
About $3 for 50
each.
$3 for 50 of them.
No, $3.
$3.50 each. And how many are you using to work out? 2?
Yeah, 2 to 3.
Croaks ain't using more than 2 to 3 in a workout, I tell you.
Expensive workout.
And he ain't doing a retest if he gets it wrong. That thing's just going through to the keeper.
No, there's no time to retest. It's like minute recovery. Got to go. Not ruining the session.
That's a coffee, mate. Every time you do a test, it's a coffee.
Yeah, expensive stuff. They're up. That's episode 444. Patreon supporters, we got the OG monthly on Wednesday evening. When are you recording, Croaks? With Evan?
5 p.m.
Wednesday.
Yep.
Ooh.
So we've done about 6.
Big 12 hours then for Patreon content Wednesday/Thursday morning. See you, boys.
See ya.
See ya.
Thanks to Precision Fuel and Hydration for sponsoring this episode. Precision Fuel and Hydration is the answer to fuel your next marathon. Their free online planner helps you nail your sodium and carb intake so you don't fade when it matters most. Visit precisionhydration.com, and while you're there, place your first order and get 15% off when you use the code IRP2026.
And I'm gonna hold my head up high. I was told as a young man, doesn't matter if you're white or black. Just show love to everyone you meet. Doesn't matter if it don't come back.